All right, good evening, everyone. Looks like everybody's kind of filtered their way in, so I'll call the meeting to order. If you, hopefully, you grabbed a packet. It's got an agenda on the front. We're going to follow this agenda if there's no objections, with the one exception being Chip is going to give a verbal financial report to go along with the written one. So look forward to that. And with no further ado, Chip will handle the welcome and the devotion.
You're much too kind. Thank you very much. Well, welcome. Is that good enough? I wanted to look over into Colossians chapter 3 tonight. As we think about a church business meeting, sometimes we think of it as business. The church I pastored in Owensboro actually changed the name because they said, we're not doing business. We're doing a quarterly meeting of the people of God. And so, where they came together and talked about what was going on in the church, and they never called it a business meeting because they said that made it seem like something that was more secular or something. But a church business is spiritual work. It is something we're doing for the kingdom of God. You come and you find out the different things that are happening in areas of the church you might not know about. You find out about the church finances. You ask questions. You participate in the running of the church and what the church is doing. And so it really is more than just a business. It's something spiritual that we're doing here. And every report, from budgets to decisions and votes, are ways that we serve Christ together. Colossians 3, verses 12 through 17, I wanted to read that for you. Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, patience, bearing with one another. If one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord forgave you, since you must also forgive others. And above all, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And so as you begin to look at this, he talks a little bit about, okay, what should our attitude be? Now, he's talking about the church in general, but if you think about a quarterly business meeting and think about the things he says, first of all, he says, you are God's chosen ones. So you look around the room tonight and think, wow, these are God's chosen people that are right here around me. So a group of God's chosen people who have come together for the work of God's kingdom and to see that it's done the best way that it can be done. And so that's who we are tonight. He also says, as God's chosen people, we are holy and beloved by God. Again, just look around the room for a second and think, everyone in this room is God's chosen person, and they are holy and they are beloved by God. Chosen, holy, beloved. Every single person in this room. And then he says, well, if that's the case, then we should be compassionate, we should be kind, we should be humble, meek, and patient. We should bear with one another, and if you have a complaint against someone, forgive them as the Lord forgave you. Now, has anyone ever been in a church business meeting that might not have been the most pleasant thing in the whole world? If so, raise your hand. Okay. One or two of you actually have been in a meeting like that. I've told you before, the church I grew up in, we used to fire the pastor just so we didn't get bored at business meetings or something like that, And so that was always on the agenda or something like that. I was a part of an association in Owensboro one time who every time we got together, there was a motion to fire somebody that was on staff at the association meeting. And a guy had left and was gone 5 years to another church, came back to Owensboro to a church there 5 years later, and the first matter of business was the attempt to fire the same guy. And he said, I just want to know, I've been gone 5 years. Do we do anything else in the association, or is it just all we're trying to do is fire him every meeting? And I thought it was funny and laughed, but no one else did. But to say, okay, compassionate, kind, humble, meek, patient, forgiving, that's supposed to be our attitude. And above all else, put on love. So as we think about going into the business meeting, if those were our attitudes and we saw every other person in the room as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, how would that make what we are doing any different? He then goes on in verse 15 and says, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. You are called as one body, and be thankful. And so he says, look, you're one body of God's chosen, beloved people. Therefore, there should be peace and gratitude when people get together. And again, that should be something that has all of us at every meeting we have. And then verse 16, let the word of God dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in wisdom, psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your heart to God. And whatever you do in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. So think about what we just talked about for just a second and ask yourself, what is my attitude when I come into a meeting? When someone speaks, am I trying to be understanding? Am I trying to be peaceful and caring and loving and all of that as we get into whatever business that we may have? And so I guess our main question is, are your attitudes Christ-like when you come to a church business meeting? Are your goals to build unity or to win? And how can we model grace and humility as we make decisions? So just some good words as we get started here. After all of those great, weighty words, we have no business to vote on tonight, so it should be able to be done very easily, okay, by you all as we go through this time together. Let's have a prayer. Father, thank you for this time together. Just pray that we remember that we are the chosen, beloved children, and that we are here as a family together. And in Jesus' name we pray it.
All right. So we will have old business later, so do be kind. And but anyways, we're going to review the minutes now. So the first page, it's number 3, but that's where the minutes begin. So if you can look over that briefly, we're going to make sure we agree that it's true to what happened last time. Oh, there's 2 sets of minutes in there, also on page 7. All right, if anybody has anything they've identified as a problem within these minutes, would you please share that? I have a motion to accept the minutes. Is there a second? Seconded. If there's no opposition, we'll go ahead and accept the minutes as written. All right, thank you. That will bring us to the senior pastor's report.
Thank you, Moderator Becker. I appreciate that. We kind of went over the last time a lot of the facts and figures for 2025, so I won't go over those with you again. We're getting back into the new year. Actually, we're getting closer and closer to starting to work on our Easter services. Ash Wednesday is just in another week or so, 2 weeks, and so we're getting into that Lenten season already, and so going very quickly. One of the main things, we are going to be the host church for the REACH conference for the Kentucky Baptist Convention, which is the state's evangelism conference, and there'll be speakers from throughout the country that'll be coming in for that as well. It's March 9th and 10th. Everybody is invited. If you volunteer sometimes during that period, then you can come to the rest of the conference for free if you volunteer at all. We're going to need a whole lot of volunteers, probably 50 volunteers or so, just all kinds of stuff going on. There will be times that they'll be doing 3 meals of 50 to 100 people at the same time on our campus. And so just having people help out with that will be a major undertaking as well. But it's March the 9th from 1 to 8:30 and March the 10th from 9 to noon. That's on that Monday and Tuesday. So if you can help volunteer at all during any of those times, morning, afternoon, evening, anytime at all, just let us know. And we would love to get you hooked up. Be some really good speakers talking about evangelism and the need for evangelism. There'll be good breakouts that will be there. And Monday evening, there's going to be a sending celebration where all of the Kentucky missionaries and church planners will be commissioned as they begin their work. And so all that will be going on. It's actually the second largest conference that the Kentucky Baptist Convention puts on during the year after their annual meeting. And Dr. Thompson, you'll find this humorous. We got a call a couple weeks ago about hosting the annual meeting, and they said they needed 1,200 seats. And I said, well, we can't get half of that. And they said, well, if we did a couple of things, could you get in most of that? And I said, no. And so that got us off the hook. So if y'all want to build a 1,500 seat sanctuary, they'll do that next year, just so you'll put that on your radar there. But that is coming up. Ought to be really a good time. As you know, services were canceled over the weekend. We had plenty of time to know what was going on, and so recorded the message on Thursday. That was going to be the regular message anyway, and then we did not have the lot actually plowed till Monday. That saved us a couple of $1,000 by not having them plow the lot till Monday because we weren't on their emergency get here. Right now, we're one of the number one places they come to. The people we work with, we're one of their main people, but they charge us a lot for being that, and so that helped there. And they always do a really good job clearing the lot, and they anticipate probably by March most of the snow on the lot will be gone. So if you all would hold to that, that's probably true. And then one final thing, take any questions, but I don't know if how many of you all would know Pastor Urian. He's a Cuban pastor from Path of Light Church on Taylor Boulevard, and Pastor Urian passed away today. And a young man, 2 young children, and so certainly be in prayer for them. Pastor Bernardo called me earlier and was telling me that Urian had passed away. He's a really good guy, and so certainly be in prayer for Pastor Urian's family. Any questions that y'all have of me? Yes, Margaret. Yes, yes. I do not, but we can get those numbers. Yeah, we haven't met as a staff to even look at any of that yet. You know, of all that. So we were off Monday and Tuesday. Most people work from home, and then today was the first regular day back. We actually. Yes. So somebody asked me the question earlier. We always say if JCPS is closed, that the church offices will be closed, and but they were open today. Well, that is if it's an early morning and JCPS cancels, we're probably going to cancel. But if it goes on for 2 or 3 days like this, we'll make our own decisions on what to do. Our lot was clear. We felt the roads were good enough for staff to get here, and so we reopened today. So it's more like a good suggestion to follow, not a rule. But we will generally cancel. JCPS does, but today we felt like everything was fine. Are they going tomorrow? I don't even know. No. Okay. All righty. Any other questions? Yes, Carol? In English, it's Path of Light Church. It's Senda de Luz, I don't know, Iglesia Bautista. That's my best Spanish. It's on Taylor Boulevard, though. Path of Light Church. Steve, do you know anything about Urian? Okay. I have met him a couple of times. You know, they do their, Bernardo and them, they run the, like the college for Hispanic pastors out of our church. And Pastor Urim was involved in teaching in that.
All right. So next up is the Outreach and Missions Pastor report from Aaron.
Good evening. First, WMU has a new director that they voted on last week, and so Joyce Life put together a report of WMU from last year. It is not a part of the packet. It got laid to the side, so if you did not get one and you want to know more about what WMU was involved in 2025 and what those numbers have looked like and their reach and their impact, that can be found on the table out where the packets were. If we ran out, just let me know. I'll make some more copies for you all. They had enough going on that I didn't want to do them injustice by not reading everything, so I thought it'd be better just for you to be able to have access to that. For me, I want to talk a little bit, just looking back a little bit. Fourth quarter actually feels like a long time ago, but when I sat down and looked back, I went, oh, that's October. And so some of the things that happened in the fourth quarter, we had our missions weekend back in October. It feels like a long time ago, but I think it was a very good weekend. We had over 200 people in the building. We had, I can't remember now, I think 7 different potential partnerships coming in, and they didn't just come in and share. They came in and got to teach and share their hearts, and they were really excited to be able to come in and visit all the Sunday school classes. So for any teachers that are in the room, thank you for making your classrooms available. They said that was probably the highlight of their weekend, was being able to go in and visit every Sunday school. As soon as that ended, they all got taken out to lunch, and then Charlie Waugh and a group of guys, they packed up and they headed off to Pikeville, and we had a work trip that took place in conjunction with our partnership with the Frieda Harris Baptist Center out in Pikeville, Kentucky. They went out. If you want to know, Charlie, just wave your hand in case somebody happens to not know who you are. If you want to know more about that specific trip, Charlie went. Jimmy, who's sitting next to him, went. John's in here. John went. Dale went. I think most of the team might actually be in here. So if you want to know more about what happened on that trip, talk to them. I know that they would love to be able to share that with you. One of the things that I've been trying to work on is being more intentional about cooperation across ministries. And so even over that missions weekend, big thank you to, I know Dawn and David are both in here. Thank you to both of you for your involvement with the music aspect. I know that was a big draw for some people. I'd like to say they were coming just for missions, but I know the choir and the music and all of that, I know that helps. And so thank you to both of you. Another thing that we've been trying to work with is cooperation between Missions Outreach and the children. And so we did the Trunk and Treat. I heard a rumor that it's just going to be called Fall Festival next year, but you didn't hear that from me. But Trunk and Treat, and we collaborated, and I said, if they're going to have this many people on campus, let's see if we can't get the gospel out there. So I assembled a team. Bill, there were 10 of us or 8? It's one or the other. It was few enough that we learned real quick we need at least twice as many people if we're going to do it again. But it was such a blessing to be able to share the gospel with over 1,000 people that came on campus and went through line. There's not, as far as I know, there's not one person that didn't come through and get a chance to hear and respond to the gospel. And so that's been an encouragement to be able to work with Katie and Mary. EACM, we did the Thanksgiving bags. I want to say we had about 130, give or take a few. So big thanks to the church for your continued generosity. And speaking of generosity, we also had the Angel Tree. We worked with 4 different schools, gave gifts to 120 students in I don't know if it's our immediate area because students are bussed in from all over, but able to bless 120 students that otherwise would not have had Christmas. And then, if you remember, one tree was schools and the other tree was for foster care. and we collected over 150 pairs of pajamas to go to foster kids. And so I really can't take any credit for that other than I help make sure that the things get put on the trees. All the credit really belongs to the church. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for loving on our community. So that's a little bit about what happened. If I can just take a minute, I would also like to share a little bit about what's to come. Missions and outreach, we just met, was that last week, with the missions committee, and we have got a full slate of a whole bunch of stuff coming up this year. And so I just want to share a little bit about what you can look forward to. So we have an EACM collection that'll happen in February, canned goods. If it's not out on the site yet, it will be, and in social media, Christy will put exactly what they're wanting us to collect. We're going to have a missions fair again at the end of February for those who want to get put on a designated list to help with a specific area of ministry when we do outreach. We're going to have that at the end of the month. Chip already mentioned the REACH conference in March. That's a huge opportunity for us. If you want to volunteer, I would say the main three things we're going to need help with is greeters, maybe four things. Greeters, people to point people to places, people to help either set up or take down. And that involves like food and cleanup and that kind of a thing. So if you want to volunteer, you can email me, you can find me, but we'll also make sure that there's a sign up available online. So if you'd like to be involved in that, just let us know. A couple other things. These things are happening throughout the year. So we have officially 5 international mission trips on the books. All of them have team leaders. Almost every team is full. So we have 5 international trips that are going out this year. We have 4 stateside trips going to the other side of Kentucky. We have 1 church planting vision trip up to Cincinnati to see if we can't get involved in a church plant in the Cincinnati area. We have a Cameron Middle School block party that we're going to sponsor and put on and go love on that community. And then next month, myself and Charlie Wallace, we're going to go out to Recenter, which is the homeless ministry downtown. We're going to get a feel for what it looks like, what our church could do, and how we could get plugged in there. So there's many more things. There's the things that we have already scheduled and planned. And then I have learned that there's the things the Lord's going to bring to us between now and when it happens. And so just keep an eye on the app, on the website where it says how to connect. We'll have all those opportunities there. Any questions? Anything for me? Yes. Yeah, I always get confused. There's 2 groups of ladies that work in conjunctions to fill snack bags that goes out to homeless ministries. And our church, Carmita, put together a packing party in November. And there were at least 60 people, I think, that showed up. Does that sound about right? And you said 600 bags? Filled 600 bags, and they were all taken off. And they're just little snack packs to help those who are in need. And that's something that's ongoing, too, that Carmita and I always forget the name of the other group. Fleur's Dreams. They work together and filling snack packs to help reach those who are in need. Any questions, comments, anything? All right, thank you.
Next, we have the Discipleship Pastors Report with Andrew Pendleton.
Well, hello. So several things have happened this year, and I need to preface this with my December was basically non-existent because I had a child November 29th. So looking back at last quarter, we are trying to continue our mission statement, continue our vision. Can somebody tell me the mission statement? You guys know it? Not Emily, she doesn't count. Cultivating Christ-changed lives across all generations and in all places. All right, so that tells me right there that I failed already because none of you know the mission statement. But we're trying to continue to cultivate Christ-changed lives in everything that we do. And our specific vision for right now is 500 faith-focused families. And so the idea is that we are strengthening families as we go, but that it is not just particular family units. It is also the fact that we as a body are a family. And so if you are a single person, if you are retired and your kids don't go to our church, you have a role to play in caring for and strengthening the family right here that we have. And so some things that we've been doing with that, in October, we did a parenting class. And that parenting class was actually specific to our markers of a disciple that we've created. And so we believe that if you have a vision or a mission, that you need to be able to measure it. And so we created markers of a disciple, things that are tangibles that you will notice in a person if their life is really being cultivated and changed by Christ. And so we talked about how can you be cultivating Christ-changed lives in your home with your family. Dr. Garrett also did a study, and Dr. McKinley at the same time, for people who are not parenting. And I will say that Dr. Garrett's class blew mine out of the water with attendance. You guys like him a lot. But we had Dr. Garrett, and we had that. Then afterwards, Aaron led an evangelism series for a few weeks. I was actually looking at, if you guys remember the survey we did about in summer for our church, I was looking at that for something in my doctorate class, and it struck me again that we as a church are pretty solid disciples in so many different ways. And it was like, everybody was crushing it on every category. And then we got to evangelism, and it was like 60% of the people said that they even noticed sometimes that maybe somebody needs to hear the gospel. It's not act on it. It said, do you notice opportunities to share the gospel? And like 60% of our church said sometimes. And 25% of our church said regularly. And 5% of our church said never. So that meant like 80% of our church sometimes or never notices that God is trying to prompt them to share the gospel. And so we had Aaron do an evangelism series and kind of try to train us in evangelism, because if we really believe that lives need to be cultivated and changed by Christ, then we need to be sharing the gospel. And so December, we don't have normal programming. And like I said, I was holding a little baby, and really my wife was holding a baby. I was chasing a 2.5-year-old around. But looking forward to this year, we've got a lot that I am really excited about. As you guys know, right now we're doing a series called Poured Out, talking about sacrifice, but we're also continuing to try to strengthen the family with our marriage series, teaching people how to fight well in marriage. Notice it doesn't say don't fight or be perfect in marriage, because that's not realistic. It says how do we fight well. And so that series is going on right now. Since Spencer left, that means I'm also the rec minister right now. And so we have a volleyball league going. We filled 6 teams and probably could have filled a 7th. And so that's been a really exciting time to see a bunch of people just gather together. If you ever come to one of those, it's really fun to just hang out. There's all sorts of people there fellowshipping. It's been a really cool opportunity for that. Also, looking forward, you guys have probably heard a little bit, we have Ash Wednesday, and then after Ash Wednesday, we are starting Master Life Part 2. Now, last year we had a ton of people sign up for Master Life. This year I've had a bunch of people say, I don't know, because it took me like 25, 30 minutes a day of work, and I don't know if I want to do that. And I understand the sentiment, but also if we are trying to really cultivate Christ-changed lives or be Christ-changed ourselves, it might require 30 minutes a day of our time. And that's okay, right? So I'm going to really encourage you guys, find a time for you that you can sign up for Master Life and participate. I think it's one of these amazing things where it speaks to really all levels of a disciple. My dad did it last year, and he was like, man, this was wonderful. I did it, and I loved it. And then I had people who had been Christians for 1 month who found it amazing. And so it's really this opportunity to speak to who you are, where you are. And so last year we talked about, it was called the disciples cross, but it was really developing rhythms of a disciple. How do you start to put these rhythms into your life? And this year it's called the disciples personality. And so now we're going to be talking about developing virtues, developing integrity or character that looks like Christ. So what does it look like now to start developing you as a person? And so we have opportunities Sunday morning, both at 9:30 and 11, and Wednesday nights at 11. So you can sign up online for that right now and come to whichever one you want. If you're part of a Sunday school class that wants to participate, that is great also. And then we also in Easter, I'm going to be launching a church-wide Bible reading plan if you want to participate in that. We're going to be doing like a Bible reading in the year plan together. I just think the more I think about what it looks like to be a church, we can do all of these individual programs that speak to different people, and of course we are. We're doing marriage classes and parenting classes and these different classes. But I think that what it really means to be a church is to chase after God together, to walk through life together, and to be able to encourage each other as we're on these pathways. And so when we do big church pushes like Master Life, like Bible reading plans, it is, of course, beneficial for you, but it is also beneficial for us as a body if we're talking about faith-focused families, to grow together, to talk about what we're going through together, to study together. And so I think it's a really cool opportunity for us to walk through these things together. So that is primarily what is happening in discipleship. I guess really quickly I'll mention too, as you guys know, I do college and young adults too. And so college is something that has been exciting to me even though it is small, because we, over the time that I've been here, have never had enough of a core group here to maintain a Sunday school class. So we've been doing pop-up shops at Christmas and summer when all the college kids are back. And Philip has been our moderator in chief here, has been really dedicated to these kids and has been pouring into them. And they now have a core that meets every single week. And we had like 15 people, I want to say, at the Christmas party. And we have kids who are really excited about Jesus right now, and who are being poured into. And I help, but really it is because Philip has been faithful to them for years when they were pop-up shops, and now we're starting to see some traction in that, and that's been really cool. And then our young adults ministry has, we do Tuesday night small groups, and that has continued to grow slowly but steadily. We started out as like 10 people in Caleb Barley's living room, and now we're in the Simpkins giant basement, and now we're starting to outgrow that basement, and so just trying to figure out what's next for us. But it's been really cool to develop that community. That was a place that was lacking pretty hard in our church. And so with that being said, one thing that we are missing is we are missing a young adult Sunday school class. If I have somebody after college and under like 35, 40 that shows up, I don't have a Sunday school class to push them to. And so I'm trying to develop a core there, and I really am looking for a teacher there. And so if that struck your ear a little bit, I would really encourage you, pray about maybe teaching that class. Because there are going to be people, especially now that we have a college core, they don't get to stay after 22. We kick them out. And so we're going to have several kids getting kicked out of our Sunday school class and going, I guess I'm going to go to a 40-year-old class. And I really don't want that. And so my encouragement to you is, maybe that is you that God is calling to lead that class. I would love to, but I don't have the opportunity on Sunday mornings. So if that is you, come talk to me, or pray about it and then come talk to me, because we would be really excited to have you and to have an opportunity to offer that to people. I think it could be really special. So that's all I've got. Does anybody have any questions? Volleyball starts at 5. The first game's at 5. We have a game at 5, 6, and 7. Yes, ma'am. No, it is not. That's a good call, John. I thought about that and forgot. We also have started a small leadership team that is interested in having a men's ministry. As you guys know, we have a women's ministry that's pretty strong. We have Bible studies on Monday morning and Monday nights, and then Emily Zwicker leads a group as well on Wednesday nights. And so we have started a smallish, like young men's Bible study with Philip as well. But we're looking to kind of broaden that to the whole church, and I've had a few people who have shown a lot of interest. And so we had our first meeting about it last Wednesday and just kind of talked about what it looked like. And we think it's going to be a once a month Saturday morning kind of thing. If you guys remember when Larry used to do that, reminiscent of that with some different details. We were talking about sharing testimonies, having speakers, maybe a song of worship. And one thing that we're really focused on with this, our mission statement is cultivate Christ, change lives across all generations and in all places. So one of the focuses that this group has been talking about is having like small discussion / mentor groups each week, where we have older men with younger men and kind of just talking about life and helping each other walk through life. And, I was encouraged because I was thinking all the older men can mentor the younger men, and somebody said, and the younger men can remind us and inspire us that we still have things to do and that we need to keep going. And I was like, isn't that true that we all have a role to play in this? And so I thought that was really cool. So, yes, that men's ministry, look for it. We have another meeting in a couple weeks, and we're looking to kind of solidify some dates and kick off with that. So that's pretty exciting as well. So that'll be for men of all ages, 18 and up. So if you are one of those, look out for it. It'll be fun. Anybody else? Cool. I told Emily I'd talk for 3 minutes, and it was more like 12, so.
All right. Since I'm with the college students so much, I keep thinking I'm a young man, but then this year one of them was like, "You're almost my dad's age." And I was like, "Ugh." So next on our agenda, do you need to go now? Because Chip was going to speak. All right. If there's no objections, we're going to switch up the agenda and let Emily lead off the ministry reports.
How is Andrew's not a ministry report? Oh, okay. I'm not fancy like that. Chip texted me when it was Aaron's turn because Andrew told me he was going to speak 3 minutes. But I do want to get back downstairs to the youth to mix. But I wanted to come and share some exciting things with you all and tell you some exciting things coming up. So, of course, as most of you know, we did lose our associate to moving on to work at Southeast in a big kid job is what I call Spencer's job. But we're excited. Actually, me and Philip went and saw and toured and saw his office and everything. So he's doing very well. We're very excited for him. But that has made my semester look very different. So we're excited. God is moving. And that's why we don't build ministries on a person. We build it on Jesus. So there is still ministry to be done. And so instead of finding a replacement associate, we have put 2 interns in that place for the time being. It's hard to hire an associate. It's a very in-between kind of 20-hour-a-week kind of job. It's hard because it's not full-time for people who are a little older. Every associate that we've ever had has been an intern first. Just, being able to build into them and grow. So at this moment, we have hired 2 interns. One you guys probably know, Trey Strange. His mom, Stephanie, is on staff. And also they've just very involved part of our church. And then a newer addition to Westport Road. He started coming in the fall. He's a freshman at Boyce. His name is Parker Holbrook. Really, really great guy. Very excited. He's actually giving his first mixed message right now. Don't worry, I'm recording it so I can hear it later. But they're both really excited to be here and to be working together. So they'll have their internship through May, and then we'll reevaluate and see where we go from there. But I thought it was a really good way to kind of give them an opportunity to serve while getting the help that we need, while God works on sending us the right replacement for that associate role. And of course, we also have our part-time worship leader, Thomas, is downstairs leading worship as well. So I have a team of 19-year-olds, but they are passionate and excited and very kind boys. If you see them around, encourage them. Coming up on Ash Wednesday, the mixed band will play and Thomas will be leading them. So if some of you don't ever get a chance to see Thomas because he is only here on Wednesdays, you'll get a chance to meet him then. But Parker and Trey will be working in our ministry, and you'll see them around on Sundays and Wednesdays. As you probably know, it's like snowing outside. So we had to postpone our ski day on Saturday, but we did have over the weekend, we had over 60 students here on Friday night for Winter Retreat, Part 1. And Part 2 will be coming up next Saturday, where we actually will hopefully get to go to the ski slope, ski, snowboard, tube. But God is still doing really good things. And in a time of transition of leadership and things like that, I feel like this has gone about as well as it could go. I have been through a lot of different leadership and staff changes over time. Some have been harder than others, but I feel like we did it as well as we could. And I think everyone's just excited to send Spencer off, and they're really excited to see these interns grow. Trey gave his first message last week, and the kids just hooped and hollered and clapped afterwards, even though he stood there like this and just read his little thing, right? Like, they're just so excited to see him grow. But anyway, I'm just very excited about their opportunity to lead. They were on the Winter Retreat with us as well. So to kind of recap the things that have been happening, you guys know we're always doing something, and a lot of it is fundraising because we want to get these students where they're supposed to go so that they can get away from distractions and really lock in on what God has for them. So we have been fundraising through the fall and will continue through the spring for our 2 upcoming summer trips. And our first one will be our high school mission trip to New Orleans. Very excited about that. I went on a mission trip there. Youth choir, Clay Summer Days, okay, back in the day, post-Katrina, and it was really impactful to my life. New Orleans is a dark place that really needs the Lord, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity to push them. They have really grown over these last couple of mission trips as a group, and just to see their ability to be able to share the gospel as it grows and brings our freshmen along will be really exciting. That's in June, and then in July, we will have our church camp for our middle schoolers. We are going back to a place we went a couple of years ago. It's called Generate. It's in Tennessee, and it's run by YM360, which is a pretty well-known youth kind of company. But we loved it a couple years ago, and we're excited to go back. So the registration for that just closed, so we'll be taking 20 students with us for that. We still have a little bit more time for the sign-up for New Orleans. But so be praying for us as we get the right people on those lists, as well as get the right adult leaders in place. But I really feel like God will have something great for us this summer, and so we really appreciate your prayers, your support. And so the next things I want to talk about is our fundraising. We try not to do too many like, oh, come and buy this or whatever. We try to make it an experience that people can enjoy as well. So we try to do a lot of those church meals and things like that, or kind of provide a service. And so in the fall, we had our pancake breakfast, which is always one of our favorites. Really well attended. Every student who worked made $35 towards their trip. The trips are $400 and $500, so that's chipping away at it. We also hosted a Parents' Day out at Christmas time over in the preschool. Super fun to have all those kiddos around. Also, it's just great to see our students investing in them. But every student who worked made $60 towards their trips, so that was really great as well. And then coming up, I posted signs all over where you guys will be, so hopefully you don't miss. This Sunday is the chili cook-off. So this snow week, it makes us nervous that people aren't going to know what's coming up on Sunday, so please help us spread the word. This Sunday. Also, it's February the 1st, and everyone thinks February is like super far away, but y'all, hasn't January been long enough? It's time. So February the 1st, this Sunday, is the chili cook-off. The last 2 years, we've had to have extra tables in the gym because we have so many people attend. So it's a great fellowship event just to come and get to know people, try all the different chili, things like that. Caleb Barley in the back is also going to make a dessert chili this year. So come and see if that's good or terrible. And so we're really excited. We still have room for you to enter. So we love even more chilies for people to try. So if you see the signs, they're on the bathroom doors. They're on the doors in the rotunda there. There's one on the wall. You can scan a QR code and sign up to still bring chili. We will take your chili if you bring it. Cindy and Brian run that event for us. They are invaluable. And then also, the Valentine's Coffee House, somebody might have already talked about it, but we do provide the coffee and the desserts, and that money goes to the students who come and waiter and everything. So those are coming up. So thank you for being such an amazing church that loves and supports students. I'm rolling up on 19 years on student ministry staff, and I feel very grateful to be pushing towards that 20. Don't get rid of me yet. I still have more great work to do, but when I look back on all of these years, I never feel like there's a chapter where we weren't supported by the congregation in what we feel led to do. So thank you so much. You all are the best. And now, my best husband.
That's good. Thank you to my most recent wife. Don't tell anyone who made the dessert chili so everyone can be impartial. So now we're gonna go back to the financial report. There's a written one on page 9, but Chip wanted to say something in addition to that.
Thank you, Philip. To add to the written reports, the Yes Ministry, our senior adult ministry, they did 11 luncheons with 95 on average at the luncheons. That's just great. They did 11 day trips with 26 on average, and 2 overnight trips, 2 long week trips with 46. And so just really good numbers out of them. If you turn to page 9 of your packets, just wanted to go over some of the year-end numbers for you that were there. When the year started, I was very apprehensive. We had an 8% budget increase, and I am very conservative financially, and so that scared me. And yet I was told by everyone else, it's okay, don't be afraid. And so we went ahead and I finally said, okay, let's go for that. And we actually took in 11.5% more than the budget the year before. And so that was incredible, actually. So we took in 103.5% of budget this year with an 8% budget increase. And so that was just really, really remarkable, and still amazed at that. The numbers that you see below, most of those, especially under the budget summary, are the largest in the history of the church. So that was the most money we'd ever taken in the history of the church, $2,265,408. And again, that was 103.5% of the budget. It's also the most money we've ever spent at the church as well. We spent about 98% of the budget, so of what was actually budgeted. 97.9% of the budget was spent this year. So when you put all that together, it comes out, we took in $123,000 more than was spent this past year. And so again, just all that, just really, really good numbers. Just some of the giving highlights below. The $176,000 the cooperative program is the most money we've ever given to the cooperative program. Before that, our highest was $159,000. So that was quite a bit over that, and just really good to see. And then you see the Lighting Moon offering was just about $24,000. Then wanted to talk a little bit about the loan. At the bottom of page 10 is the actual numbers. What you have on your sheet is $411,366 that is still left on the loan. That is now, with a payment we just made in January, under $400,000 that is there. If you look, when the balance as of January 2023 was $1,234,000, and in 2 years it's now $411,000. So that's just an incredible pay down of that loan over the last few years. We have $225,000 a year budgeted on the loan, which means if we did nothing else, that we would pay that loan off in by sometimes near the end of 2027. Our estimates, though, is that we will pay the loan off at the latest the summer of 2027, and probably before that. This past year, we took in about $50,000 extra on the loan that people just give to help pay down the loan. If that continues, that will definitely be something that will be a big impact, and also probably some of our surplus from this year will be put to pay down the loan. And so we're thinking sometimes either early or summer of 2027, we will pay that loan off, which is something I think no one ever would have anticipated when we took the loan off. So just unbelievable, and thank you all for that. The only other thing I wanted to mention is you look at all of this, $2,265,000 given to the church, but there was a lot more than that. There's all the designated funds, there's the special offerings that were made, and there was also $150,000 that was given by people in the church to buy 2 brand new vans. At the start of the year, we said, we need new vans, and we need 2 of them. And in 6 months, the money was given to pay that off. And so just, again, incredible. And thank you for everyone that had a part of that. We are truly blessed. And as we enter 2026, the good news is we didn't even have church this week. So I hate to see what the report will be like next week. But right now, everything is really good. Any questions on the finances that I can answer? See how I preface that? I can't answer them. Stacy Hoffman can. All right. It's going to call you Dr. Becker. That wouldn't have, your dad would not like that, would he?
No, yeah, that's my dad's name. Well, that will bring us to the old business. If you look at the back of your agenda, it's listed there. We have a motion from the Committee on Committees. As of December 3rd last year, when they nominated everyone, they were missing a name for the Personnel Committee and missing a name for the Legacy Gifts. So you can see that Danielle Hilt for the Personnel Committee and Tara Barley for the Legacy Gifts Committee. So the Committee on Committees nominates the following church members listed in bold print for the Committee on Committee assignments to serve a 3-year term beginning January 2026. Are there any questions? All right. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All right. So old business complete. There's no new business. And so I will adjourn in prayer. God, we just thank you for this church. We thank you for this local body you've called together. We thank you for how you've blessed us, both financially and in the outpouring of your Spirit, that we are so committed to loving and reaching your world, Lord. And I just pray that you would increase that in us, increase our generosity, not just of finances, but of heart. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.